Good afternoon from the Georgia WeatherNet 24-hour Storm Center. I'm meteorologist KJ Allen. We do have an active tornado warning. This is going to be in extreme South Georgia. So we'll get right to it and get you this information. This has been a storm that's been rotating as it moved in from the Florida Panhandle into extreme southwest Georgia. So this is a tornado warning for northeastern Decatur County until 2 o'clock. Doppler radar indicating a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado right over Bainbridge, moving east at 40 miles per hour. So there's the likelihood of a tornado with this, and we'll take a little closer look here at the storm. But obviously, Bainbridge, you are in the warning polygon as well as the Climax community. And looking downline, could be moving in toward Grady County and toward Cairo. But for right now, Bainbridge, that is our main focus. We'll take a look at the velocity, and we can see this rotating couplet right now. And again, this is right over Bainbridge. This scan is about a minute old, so this is moving right over the middle of town, moving in from the west. Crossing Highway 8427 and then moving over downtown Bainbridge. So this is just as close as it gets. So you need to be in your tornado-safe place right now, lowest level, most interior room, away from doors and windows. If you know anybody in the Bainbridge area or anywhere in central Decatur County, especially east of Bainbridge at this point, moving across Highway 84, they need to be in their tornado-safe place, lowest level, most interior room, away from doors and windows. So let's zoom out, give you the picture of what we're looking at here. This is extreme southwest Georgia. As far as North Georgia is concerned, really not looking at much going on. We can see some light showers up in the northern part of the state, very stable air. But in the southwest corner, this is where we have that instability and enough wind shear to spin these storms up. So again, been watching this storm as it moved into southwest corner of Georgia in the Seminole County, and could see that spin on it, and that spin has tightened up significantly. So that's why we have this tornado warning that has been issued, and this goes until 2 o'clock this afternoon. Probably going to outrun the warning polygon, so we'll see if this gets extended downstream into Grady County. But we'll just take it one step at a time. So a strong updraft noticed here just west of Bainbridge. So what we're looking at, we just call this a bounded weak echo region, which is right over town. I'm zooming in close to town. You can see that green area. So that's what we call a BWAR, and that's an indicator that this is a very strong storm that is continuing to be fed by some warm and unstable air. Possibility of some hail also coming down with this, mainly north of town, likely around Highway 253 and heading up over toward Highway 311 as well. So hail is also going to be a risk, as well as strong straight-line winds. Could be seeing 60 to 70 mile an hour straight line winds with this storm, as well as the tornado threat. So this is going to be moving toward Falston, Hanover, the Climax community, and then continuing across through Bainbridge. So this is a very serious storm. Need to take this one seriously. Again, the rotation couplet is fairly strong. Not the tightest couplet in the world, but we do have very strong rotation. So this is enough of a mesocyclone that can get a tornado to spin up. So we're in central Decatur County, right over Bainbridge, as this storm is tracking toward the east at about 40 miles per hour. And if this holds together, we just need to let folks know in Grady County, including Cairo, that the storm could be heading your direction. You'll be next in line if this storm continues to hold together. So we'll put the timing on this. If we can get a look at the cell. And, all right, so this, we'll get this as close as we can get here. Probably not going to be able to get, let's see if we can show the track. All right, going to have to switch over to the other radar, so just bear with me just a moment, and I'll get you the timing of this storm as it is moving through Bainbridge right now. So this should be in the Climax community in about 10 minutes from right now. If it holds together, we'll be crossing the Grady County line in about 15 to 16 minutes. So again, this storm is moving quick enough that it is probably going to outrun the warning polygon. But for right now, we do have the warning in effect for central Decatur County until 2 o'clock, and that does include the city of Bainbridge. Let's take a look at any sort of debris track, and we'll throw this in motion. And not showing any signs of debris, so that's a good thing. And I'm just kind of looking at some of the other radar sites to make sure that we're not missing anything. And I tell you what, from here we can probably take a look at Tallahassee radar, so let's do that. We'll get that loaded up and just give it another angle. This is a shot from the south. So there we go. Yeah, this is a vicious storm. We can see that clear inflow notch right over Highway 84 east of town near the bypass, and that is where the spin is coming from, that inflow coming in from east to west. And we'll take a look at the debris tracker on the Tallahassee radar and throw this in motion, not showing any debris, so that's good. It's very possible that we do not have a tornado on the ground at the moment, but boy, that rotation is pretty strong. We do have several other severe thunderstorm warnings to talk about, so we'll zoom out and take a look at so again, southwest Georgia. So part of this warning has been canceled out in the Florida area as well as Seminole County, Georgia. So that polygon's going to change here momentarily, but we still have the severe thunderstorm warning for Decatur, Grady counties and a small portion of Seminole County. So that does cover Cairo. So this is covering this storm, and if that rotation persists, we may see this tornado warning extended on into Grady County. But as for right now, Cairo and all of Grady, most of Grady County, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, and that is going until 2:15. So you are under the gun in Grady County until 2:15. But right now, our main concern is going to be now moving right over the eastern portion of downtown Bainbridge. We have a new scan. Let's take a look. That rotation is still there, still strong. Not tight rotation, but strong rotation, moving over the city of Bainbridge. So we've got an update here on the tornado warning, and this is going to continue for Decatur County. We have the western edge of central Decatur County, which is out of the warning polygon now, but the city of Bainbridge are still in there, as well as all the way to the Grady County line until 2 o'clock. So very, very strong storm, and I know this one snuck up on folks fairly quickly. Everything was pretty quiet there in Decatur County until this storm moved in, and so hopefully folks are not being caught off guard. We're looking at a pretty strong wind flow as well down Highway 1 down toward Falston, and some wind starting to pick up in Reno and Grady County as well. So that's going to be the big threat on the southeast corner of this storm, is going to be the strong straight line winds. We get into the center of the storm, where we see that rotation couplet here on radar. It looks like that's starting to thin out a little bit with this latest scan. So we'll go to the live scan mode here as well so we can get the most up-to-date scan. And again, timing this out, will be in climax in about 8 to 10 minutes. If it holds together, we'll continue toward Wingham in about, let's get a new time here, in about 16 minutes from right now. And if it holds together in Cairo in 30 minutes. So Cairo, this will be on your doorstep at around 2:15. Not sure if the rotation's going to hold together, but for sure we're going to be looking at heavy rain, strong straight line winds, and the possibility of some hail. Let's take a look at our probability of severe hail. And yeah, that is popping up all over central Decatur County. And just kind of look at this. So we're looking at almost an absolute probability of severe hail. And we can kind of take a look at the estimated size. So could see 2-inch size hail up around the Highway 97 and 309 split up in northeast Bainbridge. And could be 1 to 2 inch size hail. Not necessarily all this is falling to the ground, but just know that that hail is up there. And I think for sure some folks are seeing some hail there in central Decatur County. So if you're just joining us, let's zoom out and take a look at the big picture. And I'll go ahead and put the rest of the radar imagery here so you can see we have rain over a good part of the state of Georgia. Very stable air in North Georgia, not a big concern. But in southwest Georgia, we have that instability and we have the spin. And we do have a new tornado warning. So yeah, the Weather Service says that looks like this spin is still going to be pretty noticeable here. So they're going to extend the tornado warning into Grady County. And this does cover the city of Cairo, covers Wingham, just above Reno and out to Pine Park. So Grady County, you need to take cover right now, lowest level, most interior room, away from doors and windows, or if you know anybody in Cairo. Again, this is going to sneak up on folks because things are quiet. It's not like it's been raining and thunder and lightning and all that. Everything's been pretty quiet. That warm, humid air, it's been actually somewhat pleasant in southwest Georgia today. And now we have this big storm that's spinning up, that's moving in. So this is going to catch people off guard that's not ready for this storm. So let's put a track on this. And it looks like it's going to be in Cairo in about 22 minutes. So if this holds together, we'll be in Cairo in about 22 minutes from right now. Storm continues to move through Bainbridge. And we're getting a new scan coming in so we can get this information out to you as quickly as possible. So here you go. This scan is 5 seconds old. This is just about as live as it can get right here. And we're still showing that inflow notch beginning to close up somewhat. So that is going to help starve off the storm a little bit. Let's take a look at our velocity. And we're still showing that rotation now east of Bainbridge. Let me flip back and take a look at our reflectivity in Bainbridge. All right, so downtown Bainbridge and westbound, things are going to be still raining, but you are going to be in the clear as far as the rotating portion of the storm. Now we have the rotation east of town, just east of the bypass, where it re-enters 84, and then moving along 84, heading toward climax. Could be picking up a secondary rotation as well. So let me see if I can draw these on here with the telestrator. So we could be seeing rotation right here in this area. Our main rotation is broadened out, but it's going to be right in here. So this is not unusual with these storms to have multiple vortices, and that could be what we're seeing right now. So again, we just want to urge you that if you are in eastern Decatur County, central east or the central portion and eastern part of Decatur County, to be in your tornado safe place right now. Lowest level, most interior room away from doors and windows. Downtown Bainbridge and westbound, you're going to be clear of the tornado possibility, but the heavy rain still coming down. And we could be seeing some hail up around Highway 309, now moving northeast of Bainbridge. And we have our extended tornado warning for Grady County, including Wingham, Cairo, Pine Park. You're in the tornado warning polygon, as well as Nicholsville, Princess Still. So the possibility of damage to mobile homes could be damaged or destroyed with this storm, and damage to rooftops. Again, with the hail probability here, the storm moving east at 40 miles per hour. So this is going to be crossing the Decatur-Grady County line in about 3 minutes from right now. So the county line, let me just draw this up here, a little hard to see because of the warning polygons. This is the county line. So you have Grady County over on this side. You have Decatur County over on this side. And this storm will be crossing into Grady County in about 3 minutes from right now, so about 1:50. And then if it stays on track, we'll be moving in toward Cairo in about 15 minutes or so, maybe a little bit longer, but 15 minutes, so about 2 o'clock. Need to be ready to go with this storm. You should be ready right now. And if you're in an automobile, get to a substantial shelter right now in a site-built home or building. Stop into a gas station or something that's made of a brick or block. You don't need to be in a mobile home for sure. These are very, very dangerous storms. Mobile homes are just not designed to withstand a tornado. No matter what anybody tells you, they're just not designed for that. And that's why we have so many fatalities and tragedies that are around mobile home parks when these storms move through. So very, very important that if you know anybody in Grady County in Cairo and they're in a mobile home, get them to their safe place. Now, let's just talk about who's in the clear. In Grady County, really north of the 93 and 111 split. So that's going to be right here. So you see that split, 93 and 111. So north of that, and then heading up Highway 112, about 5 miles north of Cairo. You're going to be in the clear. We're going to see some heavy rain, but we're not seeing that rotating storm there. And then in the southern part of Grady County. So down in the Reno community, you are also going to be in the clear. Strong straight line winds will be impacting Reno. But outside of that, we're not looking at the tornado threat for Reno. But Wingham and Cairo, you are in line for this storm moving through. So we have a new scan. Let's take a look at our velocity. This is starting to get a little bit ragged. As I mentioned, that inflow notch has closed off somewhat. So we're just kind of watching this area right here. This is where the inflow was pulling in the wind like this. Then we get the rotation like this. And that has closed off somewhat. So that is why we have the rotation is beginning to show some weakening. However, looking at a little spot up here in northeast Decatur County, and we're starting to show some loose rotation right here. So this is between 311 and 97, just to the northeast of Bainbridge. Nothing serious at the moment. We're going to keep an eye on that, though. Go back to our reflectivity. If you're just joining us, this is the Georgia WeatherNet live severe weather coverage, 2 tornado warnings. We continue until 2 o'clock for central and central east Decatur County. And then with that storm, Weather Service pretty confident it's going to hold together. So a tornado warning in effect for central Grady County until 2:30. And just to show you what we're looking at here, this is South Georgia, just about as far south as you can go before you get into Florida. The rest of the state just experiencing some showers, not even a lot of thunderstorm activity in North Georgia. A few thunderstorms over in, tell you what, let's turn off the high resolution radar here, and we can kind of zoom in and see where the rest of these storms are. So some storms going in through Cochrane and Eastman, heading into Lawrence County and Dublin. Those are going to continue to track in toward Wheeler and Montgomery County, mainly to the south of I-16. So most of our severe weather is south of I-16. We do have a tornado watch in effect for southwest Georgia, so no surprise there with these storms that are now capable of producing a tornado moving in around Cairo, moving through Bainbridge right now. So let's go ahead and turn off the composite radar. We'll zoom back in. Just don't want to take our eyes off of this very long, but I do want to show you what part of the state we're looking at. I know folks tune in from all over North Georgia and the Augusta area, Statesboro. We appreciate everybody tuning in. But here's our main concern. This is going to be eastern Decatur County, now beginning to head toward the county line, going to be crossing in. It's actually crossing in right now, and that inflow notch is still there. So this is still somewhat defined. We're looking at that inflow in this direction. That helps give the storm some spin. It also helps feed the storm with that warm, humid, and unstable air that is entering the storm there, really coming in from the Grady County right now, moving into the storm in Decatur County. So let's take a look at the velocity again. This is getting pretty ragged. Storm reports are coming in 1 mile west-northwest of Bainbridge. Several trees and power lines down in the Industrial Park 2. There's some shops there that had some doors blown in as well. So that's going to be, as that storm really started to spin, entering the west side of Bainbridge. And so we'll see if that, it's probably going to be straight line wind damage. Really didn't see anything in terms of debris, and we can take a look at that now. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on the debris tracker. So let's hope that stayed up in the air and may have had a funnel on it, but not necessarily a tornado. So Wingham, Cairo, you're in the path of this storm. And just because it appears that it has not dropped a tornado yet, that could happen soon, and we're still showing the capability of this storm producing a tornado. And let's take a look at the velocity. Yeah, this is still a couplet that we need to be concerned with. This is right over climax, right here. So this is approaching the Grady County line. The storm just really moving due east. So this is going to cross very close to Wingham, and if it holds together, which right now it looks like it probably will, we'll be moving in toward Cairo. So eastern Decatur County, Bainbridge, you're going to be in the clear right now. Let's see, we still have some heavy rain going on. We've got a report of P to quarter-size hail. Same spot where that damage was reported, about a mile northwest of Bainbridge, of West Bainbridge. So hail, a concern there. Let's take a look at our hail tracker. And now it looks like that hail is beginning to move right into Grady County. So right over Highway 84, US 84. As that continues to move in closer to 179. That's the road that comes south of Wingham. That's where that hail is going to be crossing. We do have the possibility of a little hail just north of US 84 as well. But most of this is going to stay right along and south of US 84. And let's measure this. Yeah, possibility of 2-inch hail now in extreme eastern Decatur County, approaching the Grady County line. So that's significant. And let's see, we got another possibility of some hail here along US 27. Maybe 2 inches of hail there in southeast Decatur County. All right, back to our reflectivity and just see what we got here going on. Yeah, so the inflow notch still showing up right through Wingham. So this is what is feeding the storm. We have a rotation right here over and east of Climax along 84, moving into Grady County. Yeah, that rotation looks like that is tightening up again. So this storm is not letting up on its tornado potential as it moves into Grady County. So again, most of our concern here, it's going to be really along US 84 and just south of US 84. Wingham and above 84, we do have you in the tornado warning polygon, but south of 84 is really going to be our main concern. And then moving into Cairo. Let's time this out. So we still have about 11 minutes to go before moving into Cairo. And if this holds together, next in line, Thomas County, Thomasville, you could be in line. If so, that's going to be about 30 minutes away, so getting closer to 225 to 230. Hoping this storm is going to start to break up before then. We saw some signs of the inflow being cut off, which is one way we can weaken the storm. The rain, the hail could still be there, but some of the spin can get cut off by that. But now that inflow notch is back in there again. So I'm still seeing some life left in this storm as it moves into western Grady County. The tornado warning for Decatur is set to expire in about 4 minutes, and that's about when the storm will be crossing out of Decatur County into Grady County. And we'll have that tornado warning until 2:30 for central Grady County, including Cairo, Wingham, and Pine Park. Pine Park is right on the eastern edge of Grady, starting to move into Thomas County. So that's why we just need to let folks know in Thomas County, you are in the path about 30 minutes from right now. Cairo, you're in there in about 10 minutes. Got 10 minutes to go before the storm will be moving in. Again, capable of producing a tornado. Let's take a look at the debris tracker. And let's see what we got here. We may have to zoom in a little bit closer on this latest scan. All right, not necessarily. Just throw this in animation one more time. And I'm not seeing anything that's shouting debris. And especially it's not lining up with the rotation couplet. So for right now, we're going to hope that this storm has not dropped, that this has not dropped the tornado in Decatur County. But we do have that capability as it moves into Grady County. All right, back to the velocity. I'm just going to zoom out just a little bit here just to show you what part of the state we're looking at. This is very close to the Florida line, very, very close. These are the counties in extreme South Georgia. The storm entered in from the panhandle of Florida into Seminole County. Showed some rotation, showed some concern, and then it really started to spin up just west of Bainbridge. So already a couple of storm reports coming in from West Bainbridge. And we got a report here of a tree blocking Highway 253 southwest of Bainbridge and some minor roof damage in that same area. So this is going to be around the Bethany community just west of Bainbridge. So could have been strong straight line winds that caused that damage. And for right now, let's go ahead and go back and take a look. I'm going to have to turn off the warning polygons just to get a better view of this. Yeah, still showing that rotation couplet here just to the southwest of Wingham. South of 84. So really, this entire area right here, we really need to be concerned with the possibility of this storm spinning up into a tornado. So that does include Cairo. And I've been mentioning how that this storm has just really been sneaking up. So we look downstream, we look into Thomasville. They had a little light shower that passed through, but other than that, it's fairly mild there. Got the warm, humid air in Thomasville. And this storm is just going to creep up unless you are aware that it's coming. Metcalf in southwest Thomas County, you also need to be on standby. You could be next in line for this, but for right now, our main concern is going to be western Grady County. Storm is just slightly to the south of Wingham at this point as it continues to move in toward Cairo, and we'll be there in less than 10 minutes. That wind is beginning to pick up. Our strongest winds are going to be in the southeast corner of the storm, now in the Reno community. Reno is right in here, and so we see some pretty tight pressure gradients, it is a pressure gradient, but also the no precipitation into the strong precipitation. So that's another sign that we have some strong winds coming into the Reno community, and that wind also picking up in the Cairo. Also watching this inflow notch here. This shows you that the storm is still being fed, well fed, no problems at all, and that's why we have this rotation that is just along this area right here. Fairly broad rotation, but anywhere within this rotating cell is where we could see the potential of a tornado. So that's why it's very important that anybody in the Cairo area takes cover right now, lowest level, most interior room, away from doors and windows. Let me put the warning polygons back up. And we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that's been issued, and this is going to carry downstream into Thomas County as well as Brooks County. National Weather Service issuing this severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern, or actually we'll drop out the Florida counties. So southeastern Decatur County, Grady County, Thomas County, and northwestern Brooks County until 3 o'clock. Watching these storms from Wingham to 9 miles north of Havana, Florida. These are moving east at 40 miles per hour. And so if we put a track on this, we'll see these storms will be moving in to Thomasville now about 28 minutes right now. So again, about 2:30 is going to be the critical time for Thomasville if these storms hold together. And so far, they're not letting off any signs that they are weakening as it crossed across Decatur County. These storms were very, very strong. And let's flip back over and take a look at our velocity, and the rotation's still there. And the other thing that I look at with this wind field is when you start to get this S shape. Look at this. So we kind of go like this. So this is another sign that this storm has some strong rotating characteristics to it. Don't like to see that S shape. We're watching a couple things here. We got that, and then we have this gradient here, the rotation couplet. It's still showing those winds coming and going from the radar at pretty good speed. So this is now moving just to the south of Wingham, just about a mile south of Wingham and heading in that direction. And continuing to move in toward Cairo. I want to say thanks to Megan for checking in on the Georgia WeatherNet and for letting some folks know that this storm is moving their direction. Great idea. Again, this is not one of those storms that is going to take a long time, that just sort of builds up and builds up. Once this whips up, it is going fast. And so right now, Cairo has just started seeing rain within the last 3 or 4 minutes. And then you've got, let's see, how much longer here before the rotating portion? About 2 minutes or about 5 minutes to go. So that's not a lot of time to get prepared. So with this storm, I mean, not moving at a rapid pace, moving at 40 miles per hour. So it's not a slow-moving storm, not a fast-moving storm, but it's just kind of right there in the middle. But those straight-line winds are also going to be an issue as well, mainly in the southern portion of Grady County, down in the Reno area, and then moving eastbound toward US 319 and out where Highway 93 meets up with 319. That's where we're going to be picking up some strong wind. This is what I'm looking at right here. This is the strong wind field. So we're looking at wind gusts moving, coming in from the northwest. And that's why we have the severe thunderstorm warning there. Not looking at the rotation there in southern Grady County, but we are looking at the strong straight line wind. So that can cause just as much damage for sure. So still watching this inflow notch coming in right over Cairo. Storm is still being well fed right in here. This is where we have the rotation. And we can see the storm is beginning to bulge out here. So we call this a bow echo. And another indicator that this storm is producing some very gusty winds. We have a new scan, so let's take a look at our reflectivity. Looks about the same as the last scan. Let's check out the debris tracker, make sure we're not missing anything. No debris. All right, don't see it there. So that would be great. If we can keep this storm off the ground, that would be great. And hopefully we'll see this start to weaken soon. This is the Georgia Weather Net. The time is 2:04. Tornado warning in effect for central Grady County, including Cairo and Pine Park. Wingham, you're starting to get on the backside of this storm. But this is in effect until 2:30. And we're going to continue to track this until this storm either weakens below tornado threshold or the warning expires. We do have the severe thunderstorm warning downstream, and that's going to cover pretty much all of Thomas County and the northwest corner of Brooks County. So Pavo, Boston, Barwick, Ocklawahnee, Dawesville, Thomasville, Metcalf, you're all in the severe thunderstorm polygon all the way almost to Dixie in Brooks County. Quitman, you're not in there yet, but if this storm holds together, Quitman, Maiden, and Morven, you'll be in there as well. So just be on standby. I just want to give everybody as much heads up as possible. And let's time this out, because I know we have some new folks just joining in. So let's take a look at what we have. The ETA on Thomasville, if it holds together, about 23 minutes from right now. And let's see, Boston is going to be about right here. So that's going to be about 40 minutes from right now. Dixie just on the outside of the warning polygon. So you'll be about 50 minutes from right now. 50, not 15, but 50 minutes from right now. And if that holds together, Quitman, you'll be next in line at around just after 3 o'clock, about 3:05 or so. If this storm maintains its current strength. We'll be talking about this. We may be following this all the way to the coastline, but for right now, all eyes are on Grady County. Just taking a look at some more storm reports. Several trees down over US 84 in Decatur County. And this is going to be in eastern Decatur County around Climax. So several trees over about a 1 mile stretch on 84. And that pretty much has been the track of the storm. It has just been cruising right along 84. And that's why it's so important that hopefully the cars, everybody that's on the road out there, they've taken cover, because this is a serious storm. And at this point, there's not really going to be a lot of way to go between Cairo and Bainbridge along 84 with those trees down. Mentioned some damage. Let's see, the Enterprise Country Club. That's going to be in Decatur County. I'm sorry, that's going to be, let's see, where is this coming out of? Highway 27. So the Enterprise community, Enterprise Country Club, with some damage reported. And we have several reports coming out of West Bainbridge with some damage to some buildings, some minor roof damage. That was likely from the straight line winds. Also some hail reported in that same area, with quarter-size hail in West Bainbridge from that storm that just passed through over the last 25 minutes or so. So let's zoom back in on Grady County. Cairo, now is the time. Be in your tornado safe place. Lowest level, most interior room, away from doors and windows. Still showing that broad rotation right here. It's going to be moving just to the south of Cairo. But still, I want you to be in your safe place in Cairo, because these storms, they don't always stay on a perfect trajectory. As long as we have some rotation really anywhere in this area, we could see those storms drop a tornado. So that's why we have the warning polygon that is covering Cairo and then well north of town as well. And we'll just go ahead and check out the debris tracker. Make sure we're not missing anything. Let me put this in motion. It's oftentimes a lot easier to see these debris balls if we put the radar in motion. Sometimes you just get a lot of noise here, and it can point out something that's not really a debris ball. So I like to put that in motion. It doesn't look like we've had any debris signatures all the way across Decatur County and then into Grady County. So that's good news. Let's see if we can keep it that way. So tornado warning remains in effect for central Grady County, including Cairo, until 2:30. Storm moving east at 40 miles per hour. So Nicholsville, Princess Stall, and Pine Park in extreme eastern Grady County. You are in the warning polygon. You need to be in your tornado safe place right now. Lowest level, most interior room, away from doors and windows, in a site-built home or building of some sort, not a mobile home. Mobile home is just as dangerous as an automobile, and that's just a fact. Let's get a timing on this now. If you're just joining us, we'll be hitting the west side of Thomasville if the storm holds together in about 17 minutes from right now. Downtown Thomasville in around 20 minutes. Be moving in toward the Thomas-Grady County line about 12 minutes from right now. So about 2:22 is when we're looking at this storm edging just to the south of Pine Park. And again, we've had several reports of damage along Highway 84 in western Grady County. So 84 is going to be a real mess until that gets cleaned up. And I think we're also probably going to end up seeing some reports of damage along State Highway 93 south of Cairo, because it looks like a pretty strong wind field there as well, pushing across 93 there in southeast Grady County. Let me zoom out and give you a big picture, and we'll just turn off a couple of these radar tools and show you what we're looking at. That's zoomed out a little too far. Here we go in the state of Georgia. So North Georgia, not a lot of problems going on. Metro Atlanta, you have some light showers. Northeast Georgia, that's a chilly rain. Very, very stable air in Northeast Georgia. No concerns whatsoever. We get into middle Georgia, things start to heat up a little bit, especially south of I-16. So we see this main squall line now stretching from just east of Dublin, starting to head in towards Swainsboro. So just in eastern Lawrence County, and then stretching down through Trutland County and on into Dodge County, Telfair County, and then moving down toward Tift County and Tifton. Moultrie picking up some heavy rainfall as well in Colquitt County. And then here in extreme South Georgia, this is going to be our main concern. So let's put the high-res radar back up. Just wanted to give you the big picture and zoom out and show you what we're looking at. I mean, this is just really riding just about as far as South Georgia as you can go. We have another line that's now moved into Seminole County, or another cell, rather, just to the east of Lake Seminole. It's going to be well southeast of Donaldsonville, but getting into the rural part of southern Seminole County and beginning to move in toward Decatur County. It's going to be south of Reynoldsville, moving toward Faceville. So we'll watch that cell. Let's take a look at the velocity on that, see if we have any spin. No, we have no spin whatsoever. I'm looking out here at this cell here in extreme southern Seminole County. No spin, so that's great news. All right, let's get back to our tornado warned storm. Central Grady County, now moving into Cairo, and we are looking at the spin on that. Here's the rotation couplet right here. So this could drop a tornado at any time. It doesn't mean that it will, and so far it doesn't look like it has, but we have had quite a few damage reports, at least coming from the straight line winds. So we got to take this storm seriously. And we are seeing a little bit of good news. The inflow notch has been cut off a great deal. Let me take a look at some of the upper scans. Okay, so we're just looking into the upper levels of the atmosphere. That's okay. This is going to be an older scan, which is fine. So that notch has faded away somewhat. So if we can keep it like that, Thomas County, I'm not sure if you're going to get the tornado warning extended. If we can have a couple more scans that look like this, but we do have the severe thunderstorm warning that does cover virtually all of Thomas County and then stretches on into Brooks County, and that goes until 3 o'clock. So we are looking at some severe thunderstorms that will be moving on in. Ocklawackney, Dawesville, Merrillville, Barwick, and Pavo, Boston and eastern Thomas County, Metcalfe and southwest Thomas County. That wind is really beginning to pick up in Metcalfe right now. And heavy rain in Reno. Reno had some strong winds as well. Could have been 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Very, very likely in Reno with that line that just moved through. So we'll be watching out for some more storm reports coming in. As I mentioned, several trees down over about a mile stretch, US 84 in eastern Decatur County. Maybe getting some reports along 84 in western Grady County. Wouldn't be surprised at all. So travel between Bainbridge and Cairo along 84 is going to be virtually impossible right now until those trees get cleared out of the way. So don't even worry about it. If you know anybody in that area and they commute between Cairo and Bainbridge, just sit tight for a little bit. Let's let these storms pass and let the road crews do their work to get everything cleared up, because it is not easy to commute between Cairo and Bainbridge if you're not taking 84. Trust me on that. So, and if you live in that area, you know that to be true. So time is 2:14. Tornado warning for another 16 minutes for central Grady County, as this storm is right on top of Cairo. Let's take a look at the velocity. Yeah, that rotation couplet is there. Let's just check out the debris tracker. Still not showing any debris. Let me throw this in motion. Boy, this would be great. If we can get this storm to just wrap itself up without touching down, we will all be very thankful for that for sure. But there is absolutely the capability of a tornado with this, and we're showing just a tiny little inflow notch right there. This is what it's trying to feed that storm. It's trying to, but you can see this is really displaced. Our center of rotation is right here. So the more distance we can get from this inflow area and the rotating part of the meso, the better off we are. So let's see if we can just get that to cut itself off. That'd be great. The air is a little more stable in southeast Georgia compared to southwest Georgia, so we do have that working in our favor. And I tell you what, while we're waiting for another scan, let's see if I can get the tornado watch polygon up. And here it is in the pink. And I'll turn off the radar for just a moment. And so you can see the counties in pink. That does cover Valdosta, Lowndes County. You are in the tornado watch, and this goes until 5 o'clock. So this has got Lanier County, Lakeland, up into Berrien County, which is Nashville, Adel. Yes, once again, Adel, you are in a tornado watch. That means conditions are favorable for a tornado, and that goes until 5 p.m. Heading up into Worth County as well. Sylvester's here, Ty. This is Tift County, Tifton. You're in the tornado watch. We're probably going to see some of these counties dropped off, heading out toward the west, out in toward Early County and Miller County. Clay County is up here. We may start seeing some of these counties dropped off as the storm is starting to pass through. And with the rain, that atmosphere has stabilized quite a bit. All right, so let's get back to our storm at hand. I just wanted to break away for a second in between scans and show you what areas in the tornado watch area. So there we go. Got a fresh scan coming in. Let's take a look at the velocity. All right, that rotation's still there. It's broadening out, and it's weakening somewhat. Over the last 3 scans, we're seeing this weaken. But it is still right over Cairo, just slightly to the south of town. So we're going to keep you in your tornado-safe place. Wingham, you are in the clear. We do have some moderate rain now out in western Grady County, out toward the Wingham community. But Cairo, you need to go ahead and stay in your safe place. And we appreciate everybody watching and sharing our stream, and especially alerting other folks in the area. Dean, how about Georgia? How about Georgia? How about them dogs? Let's take a look at, we'll just zoom out and take a look at the rest of the state. I know that folks are watching from around the state. So let's just, we'll just take a look at the entire state. All right, so North Georgia, no problems whatsoever. Metro Atlanta, still looking at those light showers. We're looking at some rain out in Athens and Elberton down to Washington and Lincolnton. That's very stable air. That's pretty chilly. As a matter of fact, we can take a look at our current temperatures around the area and see what we got up there. We started out in the mid-40s in North Georgia, And look at those 50s. Yeah, how about that? So that's pretty cool. That's a chilly rain for 55 degrees and rain. That's not the most comfortable thing in the world, but that's great as far as limiting our severe weather potential. Different story in South Georgia. We have mid-70s, and we look at our dew point. Really need to get that dew point above 57, and so we do have a dew point of 61 up northeast of Thomasville, so that's enough for severe weather development. And again, the air is a little bit more stable as you head out toward Waycross and Valdosta and out toward the swamp. So that's why we have those dew point readings a little bit lower, a little bit higher along the coastline. That's not a surprise. So once this storm starts to enter that more stable air, we're not going to have as big of a concern. But still showing that dew point reading there of 57 at Homerville. So, yeah, that's right on the cusp. So we're going to watch that. Zoom back out again, take a look at the rest of the state. So just looking at those spotty showers now around Columbus. Not a huge severe weather potential out there at this point. Somewhat stable air south of I-16. Now moving just to the east of Dublin, down into Telfair, Wheeler County. So McRae, Hazelhurst, we're seeing those storms starting to move your way. But again, we don't have a lot of instability to work with here. Our instability is going to be right here, southwest Georgia, really right up to I-75. That's where we're going to start to hit that more stable air. So hopefully that gave you a good view of what's going on around the state and who's under the gun and who's not. This is mainly going to be South Georgia and primarily in those southern counties that border Florida. That's our main concern. So let's turn off the composite radar, go back to the high res. This is where we can see everything. And we can see that very, very heavy rain now falling in the southern portion of Grady County. And those storms beginning to edge on into Thomas County, heading toward Thomasville. Right now, Thomasville, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. We do not have a tornado warning for you. And let me just check out this velocity. Yeah, this is starting to come undone. It's still there. We're looking at this big area right here. If this were a little bit closer together and a little bit stronger, I think we would have seen the tornado warning extended on into Thomas County by now. But at the moment, that is not the case. So it's pretty broad and about moderate rotation. We won't call it weak. We won't call it strong. It's kind of somewhere in the middle. And you can see that's really embedded right there in the center of the storm. Our hail risk is also beginning to diminish somewhat. Let's take a look at our probability of severe hail. We still have a low end probability, about a 40% here, right along the Grady-Thomas County line. Possibility of some hail heading down Highway 93 out of Cairo. And we can take a look at our estimated hail size. Yeah, it could be seeing inch in diameter. That could be quarter-size hail if it's reaching the ground just south of 84 out there just in eastern Grady County above Pine Park and in the Pine Park at this point. All right, so back to our reflectivity. Strong winds, southeast Grady County along 319. Beginning to move into Thomas County around Metcalf. Those strong winds are going to be kicking up for sure in extreme southeast Grady County, now in the southern Thomas County. So we do have that severe thunderstorm warning. That does cover virtually all of Thomas County. Does include Ocklawahnee, Pavo, Merrillville, Dawesville, Thomasville, Boston, and as I mentioned, Metcalf down here in the southwest corner of Thomas County. This is a really strong wind field, really strong wind field. And with that wind field, we're going to also watch this little storm right here. This little something could happen with that. Now that's in Florida, and I think that's going to stay in Florida. Not really any signs that that's going to push up into Thomas County or Grady County for that matter, but we're going to watch that southern, that's continuing to push on down into Florida. So we'll let Florida deal with that. That's getting pretty ugly. See if we have any rotation on that. No, we don't, but some broad rotation just to the northeast of Havana. Let's see how that meshes. Yeah, that's kind of ugly, northeast of Havana, but we'll let the folks there in the Florida Panhandle, Gadsden County, Alabama. They can deal with that. This is the Georgia Weather Net, and all eyes are on the state of Georgia. So back to our main focus, eastern Grady County, beginning to move in toward Thomas County. And I'm just looking to see what the conversation is with the Weather Service. So this storm now moving east at 30 miles per hour. I'll put this in motion. I know this helps quite a bit to just see where these storms are going. And you can see these are moving pretty much to the east, a little bit of a southeast component to it. And slowing up just a bit, so we could be seeing a little bit of weakening of that. And my favorite weather feature of all, now moving into Gadsden County, Florida, right here. This is called an outflow boundary. So what we have is basically it's a mini cold front. So we have some strong wind moving out of these storms, and that can turn into storms themselves. So watch this. You can see the outflow pushing away from the main storm. So that's a sign of some very strong winds now moving into Quincy and Greensboro, Florida, down in Gadsden County, Florida. So that's not going to be impacting Georgia, but some strong winds for sure down in Gadsden County, Florida. Those outflow boundaries, really something to look at. So there you go. All right, back in Georgia, back in Grady County. Cairo, you're going to be in the clear. So you can now resume your regular activities. But east of Cairo, really from the Cairo city limits along 84 all the way to the Thomas County line, you still need to be in your tornado safe place. We're still showing this broad rotation just to the east of Cairo, 5 to 10 miles east of Cairo. And it looks like our tornado warning is going to be expired, so that's good. So the rotation is broad enough, and the Weather Service is going to expire this early, so that should disappear on the map here momentarily. And that's good news for Thomas County. That means that for now, this storm is losing that spin, so we're still going to be looking at some heavy rain. We're looking at lightning, possibility of some hail. Take a look at our hail probability again. Yeah, there's a pretty good hail core just moving over Pine Park, starting to move into western Thomas County. So we're going to watch that storm again, but we're going to break off our live coverage since this tornado warning is going to be canceled before 2:30. So they dropped that a little bit early, so that's great. And parts of our tornado watch also has been canceled. So as I mentioned, out in southwest Georgia, and actually heading up I-75 as well. So Dougherty, that's Albany. So Dougherty County, you're out. Decatur County, Calhoun, Baker, Clay, Early, Grady, Miller, Mitchell, Seminole, Tift, and Worth County. Is that everybody? Is Lowndes in there? Let's see. Okay, yeah, Lowndes is still going to be in there. So Valdosta still going to be under the tornado watch until 5 o'clock. But most of the extreme southwest corner of the state, that watch has been canceled. But Valdosta, Lowndes County, Berrien County, so that's Nashville, Lanier, Lakeland, you are still in the tornado watch until 5. So obviously the storm just hasn't quite arrived yet. But I really want to watch right along Thomas County, and then quite honestly moving in toward Brooks County. I think by the time the storms reach I-75, they're just going to be running into some very unfavorable air. Those dew points are just way too low. Air's pretty stable. So going to see some heavy rain moving on into Eccles County and Clinch County, moving toward the swamp, but not so sure that we're going to get tornadoes spinning up once it reaches that air. But if it does, of course, I'll break in and let you know right here on the Georgia Weather Net. So our tornado warning has expired. Still have the severe thunderstorm warning in effect for all of Thomas County, northwest Brooks County, Grady County, you're in there as well. And that goes until 3 o'clock, so just remain weather aware, stay safe. And we'll bring it back here live on the Georgia Weather Net. If you haven't followed the page yet, please do so. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel for live coverage anytime, round the clock, anywhere in the state of Georgia